Do people feel seen and heard in your practice? And are you a feeder of souls? Hi there, I'm Greg Venning, and welcome back to another amazing episode of the Questing Chiropractor podcast. This episode, Nimrod and our Super CA Ailidh cover three amazing and unique angles, actually. Really unique angles. Great for me to hear this as well. The first one was about hands-on empathy and describing how you can crawl around at your practice to get a practice member's eye view of what's going on in your practice. The next one is literal and metaphorical nourishment. Ailidh not only ensures clients and their practice members feel fed through their chiropractic care and attention, but also tangible nourishment. What are you feeding them in your practice? And the last one, values alignment and team harmony. So important. By bringing values alive in the practice, doing them as exercises, talking about them all the time, you can actually make sure that the energy and harmony within the practice are maintained, minimizing conflicts and enhancing team cohesion. Powerful episode. I think you're going to love it. Consider sharing it with a friend or colleague, giving us up to a 5-star rating, and click the button and subscribe wherever you're listening to this or watching it. Have a great day and listen on. Welcome to the Questing Chiropractor podcast. We help you grow as visionary, vital, and capable chiropractors who are always on. We do things differently as we help to elegantly awaken your innate wisdom within. We help you create robust, predictable, and trustworthy practices that serve oceans of people and yet still have free time for yourselves and your families. We use neuroscience to deliver better business results so that you can get greater, deeper, and more effective impact in more ways. We are Questing Chiropractors, and this is our story.
Hello, Els. Great chatting with you again. Hey, quick question for you. What makes your heart sing?
Helping others. Yeah,
Yep.
I'm one of those that has to be helping other people and doing things for others. And I have a reputation for being a bit of a feeder as well. So making sure people are fed and comfortable. I think it's really the thing that makes my heart sing, and that's why I think working and being around chiropractic practices makes my heart sing.
Do you feed people in your practice?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, you're eating food and you're literally putting it to their mouth. Like some of the stuff.
Like
Mediterranean mother.
The fruit bowls have to be kept full. We have to have tea. We have to have coffee and water. Even our security guard and our gardeners have to be kept fed and watered. And
Yeah. And you said the other one is to be helpful. So how do those two come out for you, on a day when you're buzzing in practice?
Making sure people are getting adjusted. They're meeting their schedule. They're and they're being seen on time. Not hanging about. Connecting with them. For some people, that's the only time in the day that they might actually see another human being. Connecting with them, helping them feel seen and heard, and
I was recently in Lisbon with my partner Florian and his parents. Took them there for the first time, and we stopped by a little cafe right on the water, and it was one of those beautiful Portugal days where the sun was out and the water looked this rich blue that was sparkling, and the cafe had these amazing yellow chairs, these like sunshine yellow chairs, and the contrast of the yellow against the blue and the blue sky and the city behind it. It was all beautiful, and what was really interesting for me was it was a great experience before they even sat us. And I felt like I was going to be well fed regardless of what the food was actually going to be like.
Yeah.
And the thing I took away from that was I felt like I was in safe hands and I could relax into the enjoyment of that experience. And it made me question, and I'm still questioning 2 weeks later, how we can create that experience in the chiropractic practice. How can we make our people feel well fed and like they have a great experience with us before they've even had the experience?
Yeah, I often do this too, that where I go to places and I've had an amazing experience, I'm like, cool, what can I take from this experience and bring back to the practice? And one of the ones that we did is, so we are a family practice. We see a lot of babies, and we encourage babies and families to come in. And so one day we all got down on our hands and knees, and we started to crawl around the practice like we were babies,
Yeah.
and experience the practice from the baby's point of view, and often the parents, 'cause the parents are sometimes down on that floor with them too.
Yep.
And what are some of the things that you can see, and is it friendly for a baby, and are there cables and wires sticking out everywhere, or like and are there children's toys on a children's level, or are they all up high?
Yeah, no. Nice. I know one of the ones on this, I had a CA once who was not particularly experienced with babies. And we put her in charge of getting the plans for the practice. And she showed me the options. And one of them was like this cactus with needles everywhere. Yeah. Like, yeah, do you realize we see lots of babies and kids here on their hands and knees. And I'm not sure that parents are going to love those plants.
Yeah, the little toddler coming past and taking a dive into the cactus.
Or the baby, reaching with their hand, escape the needles. Yeah.
And they're going to go straight for the needles because that's what they do.
Well, of course, yeah, without the parent looking. So how do you think we can, in a practice, help someone feel like they're going to get well fed, metaphorically? Obviously, we can do it literally as well, but let's say metaphorically, before they even have the experience of, their life being changed through the care that we're providing as a team?
I think it all starts with that initial contact, that first phone call. Are you welcoming? Are you friendly? Did you get their name? Did you use it? And then that carries through to that first appointment, where the first experience of them walking through the door. And that the first contact with anyone that comes into your practice is often your CA. So that CA is on the phone, and that CA is the person that meets them coming through the door, and having that warm smile, even on the phone, having a warm smile on the phone makes a difference on the other end. And making eye contact when they come in and greeting them, using their name. I mean, I love it when people actually use my name and get it right as well.
Yeah.
And so I'll often ask people, even if it's a simple name and I think I know how to pronounce it, I'll say to them, can you I want to make sure that I'm pronouncing your name right. How do I pronounce your name? And for some people that makes a huge difference. Taking that effort to make sure that you're calling them the name that they want to be called, or if they've given you their Sunday name, their full name on their forms, but they like to be called something else, then name that out too.
Yep. Absolutely.
And making sure that the practice is warm and welcoming, physically as well. Is it somewhere that somebody wants to come in and sit down, or is it quite, do you have lots of barriers to entry, literal barriers to entry, or is it nice and easy to get into your practice and simple?
Yeah, and it's I think being reflective of the values is really important there, because on that there can be a difficult balance between, we can be really busy, and so we don't want people sitting around for hours because the space is required to see the people we want to see. But we don't want them to feel like this is a factory and they're just a number getting pushed through. And so it's an interesting balance there, isn't it, between being humanistic and respectful and full of dignity and love and grace and empathy and compassion and kindness, and yet you're not with us in our lounge room for the next 6 hours.
Yeah, and sometimes that can be quite a challenging balance, as you say. If you're running a higher volume practice, where you've seen there's lots of people coming through the door, you don't want them to feel like they're in a sausage factory. So using your CAs to your advantage, really can come into play there. The CAs can be those the ones that that make sure that that person gets that full experience and feels like they've been given a hug if they need a hug, either actually physically if they do need that hug, or just holding that space for that person, and helping them to feel seen and heard in that moment.
Yeah. So, that really comes back to your values of making sure people feel well fed and helped, right? That's you shining through there. That's important for you. How do you think there's a what's the beautiful way to do that, and yet not to occupy time unnecessarily? So how do we do that with grace? Maybe is a good way to ask it.
Learning how people communicate. Some people want to just be in and out, wham bam, that's me done. And then there's other people that want that little bit of communication. They want you to ask them about their grandchildren or their dog or their recent holiday, and they want to tell you about it. And learning which person fits which of those.
Yeah.
And learning how to communicate with that person's communication preference.
Yeah. And what about from the team members' point of view? Again, you've stated your values so clearly and so beautifully, and I can see that, helping people feel fed and helped is coming through, not literally, although sometimes you have the fruit bowls and the teas and that, but, feeding their heart, feeding their soul, and helping them feel that way. So how about helping team members understand their values and how they're linked to people's experience when they come into the practice? Do you go through with your teams, your CAs, your associates on identifying what those values are and how those relate specifically to the vision, the mission, the purpose, the procedures that happen on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, so right from the beginning, we talk about the why. And I know we've spoken about this before, where we've said that why is that foundation, and it definitely helps. And for them to understand our why, can help them to explore some of their values as well. We do encourage them to do some values exercises to discover what their values are, and finding where our values are aligned, but also know that that sometimes somebody else holds something to a higher value than you do, and that can create balance in the practice too, and in life.
Yeah, well, it fills up the corners that don't have much attention, right? And that's the beauty of what we do as a team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And so just on this, this feeling, this ambience, this energy that gets created in the practice, what about ritualizing that? How does that get deliberately, explicitly, intentionally, on purpose brought to life on a shift to shift, moment to moment, maybe when it gets lost, or day-to-day basis?
So I think having, as I say, that foundation, and part of that foundation is having procedures in place and scripting in place, which means that you don't have to think about those things, so that you can individualize and then you can personalize, and you can inject a little bit of your own personality into what you're doing if you know that your basics are covered. And you don't really have to think about it.
Yeah. And have you seen practices that do this as a team to create this sort of sensation or essence or feeling, ambience come out? Is that something that you guys do, or you've stayed away from doing?
We encourage everybody's own individual personalities to come through, while we are all agreed on our values, and the end goal. We want to say it like that. And we come together when we do have new team members joining us. we'll actually go through our statement of purpose and make sure that there's no sticking points for that person. It could be a word, it could be a phrase, that's something that they don't resonate with, and then it knocks the whole thing off. So we make sure that that everybody resonates well with our statement of purpose and is aligned with the practice values.
Yeah, and those words really are so powerful, that we're aligned and we resonate, because that brings out the harmony, doesn't it? That brings out the symphony of who we are as a team, and we know that the vibration of the energy that we put out is the level of attraction that we create around us and in our community, and from the epicenter of our practice. So thank you for bringing those words, alignment and resonance and that vibration. And as we know from chiropractic perspective, when there's a subluxation that impedes that interferes with that causes noise in the system, then it's destructive, it's contradictory, and we will de-evolve rather than grow and evolve.
Yeah, and that can be something as simple as a word that just has a negative connotation for that person, and that's in your statement of purpose. And so yeah, that's your subluxation right there, that once you check it and correct it, then the energy flows.
Yeah. And so just to round this all up and finish it off, can you think of a shift where you did feel like you were feeding the masses and you were helping to your heart's content, and as a result of that you left with your heart truly singing?
Most of the shifts that I'm in, there's very few shifts that I've been in the practice that I don't feel like that.
Wow. And so when you leave the practice, what sensations, what emotions, what feelings do you have?
Ease and grace and satisfaction and a sense of possibility of the possible ripple effects that shift could have had on everyone around me.
Yeah, starting with yourself and your team and every single person and their family.
Yeah.
Getting a bit emotional there, huh?
Yeah.
That's a beautiful way to finish off with. Is there a point you would like to bring our attention to on this topic?
I think, yeah, just following your heart and living to your highest values. And the rest all falls into place.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. Well, thank you for bringing this out for us and for creating this ripple effect that I'm certain will be impacting many lives as a result of what you're sharing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nimrod.